What's going on, everyone? Today we have to cover Zcash. As you can see, Zcash has had a pretty good month. This thing is literally up 66.7% inside of the last 24 hours. We're going to talk about this though, because as you guys know, I called the $210 bottom on Zcash, and I did that 5 months ago, November 29th, while it was all the way at $462. And even when it was at $500, I actually mentioned it back there as well, as you can see here. So we're going to talk about where I believe Zcash is going to go next. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, but let's get straight into this. So like I was mentioning before, Zcash is doing good, up 66% in the last 30 days, 18% in the last 14 days, 12% in the last 7 days, and also 5% in the last 24 hours. And on top of all of that, we're also up 996% in the last year. So technically still up 1,000% inside of the last year. The market cap is looking really good at 6.5 billion, 617 million in 24-hour trading volume. So Zcash is doing a lot better than a lot of these other projects. I'll have to say that. So Zcash is doing very, very well. And like I was mentioning to you guys before, I called this on November 29th. I called this on November 29th. That was 5 months ago. And I said why I believe Zcash could dump to $210 in 1 to 2 months. And it dumped in exactly 2 months. If you come back here and you look at this, you could see November 29th was all the way back here. So I was like, yep, this dump is real. And then I started to see the pattern right around this area here, around the upper $400 area, around $460. I made the video right about here. And that's because we had a descending channel. As you can see with the descending channel, you can see it more clearly here. We had a descending channel, and I was like, yep, that's going to end up breaking that support at the $440 Fibonacci, right? So I was like, all right, so if we're going to get broken at the $440 Fibonacci, where is the next level? So the next level brought me to here, 340. And then looking at the falling wedge that we are entering, I was like, okay, well, we can expect to go down to $210 because that's where the last Fibonacci is at. The last Fibonacci is at $210. So I was like, you know what? That's where we're going to stop. We ended up going down to about $180, $185. And then we just shot straight back up. And now we're doing our thing again. So the reason why I'm making this video is because if you look right here, we actually just broke past a bull flag. And if you look at this, bull flags, as you know, they're bullish patterns. So we just broke past a bullish pattern with our bull flag. That's pretty bullish, right? So I want to talk about where this is now going, because we might be going up to 440 again, all right? We might be going up to that level again, and that does look to be the reality of things here. And also, you know, I had to come back and message this guy here. So we're going to get back to the technical analysis here in a second. But, you know, this guy 5 months ago, he said, but you don't get to decide that, because remember, I said why I believe Zcash could dump to $210 in 1 to 2 months. Yeah, you're right. I don't get to decide it. But when you do your technical analysis properly, you can predict where it's going to end up, right? And I just knew it was going to end up at $210. That's the last Fibonacci down there. It's the last Fibonacci at the end of our falling wedge. I tell people this all the time. Falling wedges are bullish signals. So if we have a bullish signal, which is a falling wedge, and then we have a Fibonacci all the way at the end of that bullish signal, where do you think it's going to stop? It's going to stop at the end of the bullish signal, right? The falling wedge, right? So that's what I told this person here. And then this is what I said. The fact that you just said, but you don't get to decide that is crazy. Like, it is crazy though. And then he said, is it though? But it is crazy, because if you think about it, like, trading is all about technical analysis. Like, you got to make these type of analysis, right? It's not necessarily a prediction, and it's not necessarily me saying this is going to happen because it has to happen. Like, no, these are technical levels. These are technical support levels that have to be reached. These are technical levels, right? $210 was a technical level, right? Did I know that it was going to go a little bit lower and hit $180? I kind of had an idea. That's why I had this support set. Actually, this $192 support was set way before I was looking at this. Way before this happened on March of 2026, March 7th of 2026, I had that set. Why? Because we have what we call macro support and macro resistance. The macro support and macro resistance lines are our Fibonacci retracements, right? So this Fibonacci at $210, macro support, macro resistance. This Fibonacci at $338, macro support, macro resistance. But these little white lines, I just created these because these are micro support, micro resistances. Back in October 17th of 2025, we reached a micro support, micro resistance. That was micro support back there. If we come back here and we look at our daily chart, we're going to see that we've hit this technical level multiple times. So there's no way that I could have known that it was going to stop at 210 and then just keep going down. There's no way I could have known that it was going to keep going down, but I knew it's coming down to 210. And if it goes down a little bit more, we have another technical level. And look, you know, I try to tell people, like, you know, a lot of these YouTubers, yeah, they are lying to you. You're not wrong about that. You just have to know the right people to follow who actually do good technical analysis. Most YouTubers are not doing good technical analysis, but I can show you time and time again. I know these levels. I know my macros. I know my micros. I know my trading patterns. I just keep all of this inside a check, and I make sure that I only put out the right information out there. You take your Fibonacci's from your swing highs to your swing lows. You do it effortlessly, right? You take it from the swing high, which is way back here, all the way back in 2018. I took it to the swing low, which is pretty much the start of the project, and it gives you proper levels. It's not rocket science. So this is just kind of me trying to tell people, like, yes, you're right. You cannot listen to all these YouTubers. You cannot listen to them. But there are certain people that have good information, right? And there's certain people that I watch that have good information as well. None of these people on the sidebar here on YouTube I watch, except this guy here, Felix and Friends, Goat Academy. He has some good information about gold and about different stuff in the stock market. So I watch his stuff, but I don't watch any of these other people here. I don't know who these are. But yeah, this is this is just how it is. You just gotta be a better technical analysis reader, right? But anyways, 1 minute ago I messaged them back, because remember, this was 5 months ago. So a minute ago I just now messaged them back and said, we hit $210 in exactly 2 months. Like I said, don't confuse me with YouTubers who don't do actual technical analysis. Good luck. And that's not me being slick. That's just me like saying, I actually, good luck. Like, you don't want to follow most of these people. But let's talk about where we're going next, because like I just now mentioned, we just now had a bull flag that we broke out of to the upside. And look, I'm not a guru. I don't know everything. I'll admit that I really don't know everything. Yeah, maybe some could say I got lucky on that prediction, right? Maybe some could say I got lucky with this bull flag. Maybe some could say I got lucky with that. And also, maybe some could say I got lucky with all these Bitcoin technical analysis, right? Some could say I got lucky with this bull flag. Some could say I got lucky with this bearish double top, because as we know, bearish double tops, they are bearish patterns. It's a double top. Maybe some could say that I got lucky with literally everything else inside of my trading career. Maybe some could say I got lucky with this trend line, right? That comes every single bear market. Maybe some people could say that I didn't actually predict that we had the same trend line here, that we did the same motion, right? We broke down below the same trend line, got rejected when we tried to get right back above it, right? Maybe some could say I didn't really know that. Maybe some could say that this falling wedge here, I didn't really predict that, but I did. Maybe some could say that this bearish expanding triangle really wasn't predicted by me, but I did it. But maybe some people could say this really wasn't an ascending triangle within a falling wedge, which made it a bull trap, because ascending triangles are what? Bullish signals, and I meant rising wedge. Ascending triangles are bullish signals, and rising wedges are bearish signals. So if we have a bullish signal, trading within a bearish signal is going to be a bull trap. Maybe some could say I didn't really know that, but as you can see here, ascending triangle, falling wedge. But since the ascending triangle is in a falling wedge, what is it? It is a bear trap. So the second it broke out, it got rejected at the top of the falling wedge. Just trying to say, there's always people in the comments saying I don't know what I'm talking about, saying I can't do technical analysis and all this. It's aggravating, because it actually deters people who actually want to learn, right? It actually deters those people away from content like this. But just got to be careful with who you'll watch. That's all. That's all. You just gotta be careful. But anyways, we just broke out of a bull flag. So what I'm waiting for right now is a push up here to this resistance at $440. Does it have to push up to the $440? No. But we did just break out of a bullish signal. We are getting some type of rejection here at our resistance at 392. This is a micro resistance area. The only way that we get rejected and don't go to 440 is if this is a bearish double top, right? So if we just topped here twice, and this is indeed a bearish double top, as you can see here, 1, 2. We topped twice right here. If this is a bearish double top, then what you'll see is a dump from there. I don't think it is so though, because as you can see, this candle right here did kind of break out upwards a little bit more than what it would have if it wasn't going to be bullish, right? So I think that we are going to have a push higher here on Zcash up to $440. So that is what I'll say right now. Definitely want to prepare for another possible push up. Now, we are getting to this overbought range in the percent R trend exhaustion. So I think if we do reach $440, there is a high likelihood that we're going to get rejected and pull back even further. So there is a chance that this is going to continue to be a bit bearish once we become overbought here on the percent R trend exhaustion, and that could happen once we reach $440. Am I 100% sure? No, I'm not. But what I can say is that it does look like it wants to get rejected. It's already looking a little weak as well. Like I mentioned, there's always the possibility that this is a bearish double top, so you want to be careful for that. But if you look over here at the percent R trend exhaustion, we are overbought already, right? So what happened over here when we're overbought, it pulled back and then it came up again for a little bit more and then it dumps. So what if we pull back, come up again for a bit more and then dump like before, right? So that's a possibility, because if that didn't happen, right, we would have dumped right here. If that didn't happen, we would have just dumped right here. But since the percent R trend exhaustion came back for more, it pumped again. So what my theory here is, what if we do the same thing, we pull back, go down to like 360, come back for more, go up to 440. So that is what I'm looking out for. Like I said, there's a possibility that it could just dump right here and not do all that. But I'm hoping that it does the same thing that it did last time here. Pulls back just a little bit and then comes up and then dumps. So we'll see if we pull back a little bit, come back up and then dump, or if we just dump straight up from here and we have the bearish double top scenario, right? So those are the two scenarios that we can do. Either way, I do believe that we're getting bull trapped once again in the market. I do believe if we even get to 440, that we will have another dump. And I have made a video. I've made a video not too long ago talking about how $150 and $120 is next inside of Zcash. Now that's probably something that a lot of people don't believe could happen, but I think that's the next target for us, $150 to $120. If we have another massive dump, we could be making our way to back down there. So just be extremely cautious on this. And if we look at the weekly chart here, the weekly chart might not look like that is a possibility. So like I said, that I could be wrong on that one right there. All right. But if we look over here, this is the MACD. We've seen all the buying pressure, all the selling pressure, and now we're getting that buying pressure coming back in. So I don't know. We might actually have a legitimate push here on Zcash up to 440, right? We might have a legitimate push there. But I still believe, like, if we are to start jumping inside of Bitcoin, that we could quite possibly see something massive. So if we see like a huge dump in Bitcoin, hopefully we don't get a massive dump in Zcash. But I don't know. We'll have to see. This is the weekly chart though. And look what happened last time on the weekly chart when this happened. We have the long-term trend on the percent R trend exhaustion pushing simultaneously with the short-term trend. So they're both pushing at the same time, which is actually pretty bullish. All right. So when I look at this on a long-term perspective on the weekly chart, I'm pretty bullish on Zcash on the weeklies. But then when I come and look at it on a shorter term time frame, and look at the 4 hour, I'm like, okay, short term, we might see a nasty pullback, right? We might see a nasty pullback, come down to those lower areas of 300, like I mentioned before, and then have a breakout, kind of like how it happened here. So we'll see if we can get up to 440. But yeah, don't say I did not warn you. So to kind of recap this, on the short-term time frames, it looks like we can push the 440, but it might get a little bit bearish after that. If you look at it from a long-term perspective on the weekly chart, it is looking like it's pretty bullish. We'll see how much buying pressure we can get into here, but it might not push higher than what it did before. All we can really do is hope, but we'll have to wait and see, honestly. But yeah, Zcash is looking pretty good right now. But yeah, this is all I got for you guys today. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. If you guys want to trade DeFi perps leverage up to 500x, you can go ahead and check out Avantisfy, link inside of the description. You can also trade Zcash on here. You can trade up to 10x here with Zcash in particular. So you can trade up to 10x with Zcash. So you can check that out. Link inside of the description. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None is financial advice. Also, check out the Chart Prime automated trading indicators. Link in the description for that. Best in-class trading indicators. Try it risk-free for 7 days. Got some good discounts on here as well. Use the discount code PRIME20 for 20% off. And you can also do the yearly option on top of your 20% off. So yeah, check that out. Link in the description, all that good stuff. As always, I'll be back with another video.